Thor is a tank that cannot protect allies by providing shields, but he can push enemies away. So I feel like he's better played on the back line or even on the front line, but he's not a diving tank. It might look like he's a diving tank, but he's not. His dash is really short. He does consume one of his energies, which as a trade-off won't allow him to use his awakening mode as often. He already consumes 3 of his energies, which means he consumes his all energy because he can only stack 3 energies. His awakening mode allows him to shoot lightning. 4 of those shots will kill enemies with not so much HP. Staying on the back helps him recharge, and in case any enemies approach, he can use his lightning skill to recharge by hitting enemies. He will recharge 1 energy by 1 enemy hit. The awakening does give him bonus health, but it's not that much. He can launch Mjolnir and does require 1 energy, and he can also launch himself with Mjolnir and push enemies, but does cost also 1 energy. He doesn't have enough energy to use all of his skills. There's a bit of delay between the use of each skill. You're not allowed to use one skill after the other, even if you have enough energy. And on his ultimate, he will charge upwards, and then he will land and discharge his whole lightning and deal a bunch of damage to enemies. That feels really good to use his ultimate. Can be very powerful. Not as powerful as Magneto. He is a damaging tank, but he's close combat, and when he's not close combat, when you can use him from mid to kind of a bit long range, but more like a mid range, he will use all his energies. He's better played on the back line by protecting his soup and pushing away enemies that get too close, but also being able to charge his lightning and use his awakening mode as much as he can to shoot those lightnings, but also be able to kill enemies without risking his life. I think his basic attack is good in case you get approached by an enemy but not ready to approach enemies. Some of the improvements that can be given to him, some buffs, let him have at least 4 energy stacks, make his secondary attack to launch Mjolnir without costing energy, but passing through multiple enemies, dealing low damage, but making him more active in battle and more dynamic and interesting, while he's charging his energy to use the awakening mode and deal the real true damage that he can do. And even though he can recharge fast using one of his skills, it does require you to be close to enemies, and diving is not really the best option in facing the frontline enemies and when someone dives on your team. That's how I feel best playing Thor. Every time I try to engage and dive, it didn't really go well. Since Thor cannot provide any force field or shield, the best thing he can do is to be with teammates on the back line or among on the front line with another tank to create this extra protection with his damage. I'm Hirashiki Rafa, I'm not Odin's son, and I'll see you on my next hero.